Call the East China Township Special Board meeting November 20th, 25 to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Clerk Smith here, Treasurer Horn. Here. Trustee Babel.
Here.
Trustee Bebuk. Here. Trustee Klein. Trustee Richley.
Here.
Supervisor Westrick.
Sorry.
Here, you're way out of order. You get it right?
Sorry.
All right.
Should we do Pledge of Allegiance? I didn't add that on here, sorry.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Now the agenda. There's one item. A motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
To support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? B1 is the office supervisor position. Kind of talked about this before. Dwayne, you want to help me out here a little bit? I know we've been going back and forth about this. We need something for continuity. Someone's got to answer the call for, what do you call it? Basically, stuff that comes up at regular scheduled stuff, that's got to be done. And it just, stuff falls through the cracks if we don't have someone that's tracking all of that, and with an absence of the both of them now, this makes sense to make that happen. We also need someone that can oversee the office. That helps with that too. So to solve that problem, we're not adding any employees. We've actually deleted 2 now, so that was where this came from. I've been talking about it for a while, so.
Who called for this meeting to happen today?
I did.
Okay. What changed from the Monday meeting that we had to now is my question. Because I think we had an understanding, at least I did. I mean, I have no dog in this fight, but I listened to both sides of the argument, and it sounded like we all had an agreement that we were gonna go and let this happen the way that it was.
Well, that came up in the closed session. The real purpose for that was I needed to know what you wanted me to do with the negotiations. That's what that was about. This did come up. But he's leaving in less than 2 weeks now. Corinne needs a bunch of time with him to finish getting all of this stuff taken care of. Sandy said at the time there were some questions about this from other board members. So that's why we're having this meeting, to ask those questions from these board members about this position. There's no sense of waiting on this any longer. It can't wait any longer. We need to have the succession plan ready to go. Otherwise, I will be lost trying to figure out with Corinne or whoever what we're doing. We have to get these answers and get these. Everything's got to close out. She's got the audit to start working on. This all has to happen. So I don't know. There was questions you said that they had about this position, and that's what the purpose of the meeting is for. Let's clarify those questions and get those answers. And either we do this or we don't, period. We just got to get off the pot. I don't care really how we do this. Let's just figure out what we're doing.
So let me just add on to what you're saying now. So the thinking here is that we have 4 department heads. Dwayne will be gone. So by making Corinne a department head, we would have the DPW, water, sewer, and Corinne. So you wouldn't have a middleman anymore. You're going to have your department heads taking care of all the business in their own departments, and everyone comes to you.
Comes back to the board through me. That is correct. It's through the supervisor.
Where now a lot of things get fielded through in the middle and come back around and.
Right. No, and it doesn't make sense for me to be the direct supervisor for the 3 office people at this time. It doesn't. That's not a feasible situation.
Right.
I can't manage their time every day here. I'm not here every day to watch that time.
Right.
There needs to be someone over those employees as well, and that solves that problem as well. And all of the financial side of it, now we have a supervisor for that. That's the point person.
Okay, and so in addition to that, part of your plan with that is also to subcontract the planner or engineer to try and come in 1 day a week or 4 hours, I don't
That's what that
know.
meeting was for yesterday. We're talking with Wade Trim. We want to see if we can get a mid-level, we said low to mid-level. They think a mid-level type person that works for their engineering firm that's going to come here 1 day a week, be here to track opportunities with grants and whatnot, work on capital improvement plan, comprehensive, have answers for our people in the township if they have engineering questions. Like Chuck wants to know something about the sewer plant. Well, he knows that he's here every Thursday. Great, let's have a meeting. We can have our asset meetings on those days with the day he's here. There's a person in the office 1 day a week for those technical type things that we won't have a good handle on. You know, working with the parks, coming up with, you know, opportunities to, you know, kind of not supervisor by any means or anything like that, but, you know, we have the GIS system that's happening, that's being integrated at both the plants for the vertical. All that can be a liaison person working with that too, working together with AW, with Adam in the planning, whatnot, just a person that's got the technical expertise for stuff like that, and keep that on track. So when we say we need, I don't know, we need a parking lot, or whatever, but that's kind of a bad example, but we need some engineering type of thing. They have the expertise. They can prepare some plans, the documents for it, whatever it takes, you know, but they're the ones that can liaison between us and the engineer. If they need to, they'll rely on Wade Trim personnel to say, all right, well, this opportunity here to get that kind of free money for that grant, a DNR grant's good for that, or whatever. And they go with the person that works up out of Bay City, I believe, that does a lot of the grants. They'll match that, and they'll help us put that together for us. We do the congressional spending every year. They'll know what we're looking for. We will go ahead and be ready in March for that with them.
And they'll be ahead of the,
We-
basically the CIP, seeing
And
what
they are
funds we have
going to
and
do a
what.
comprehensive, you mentioned something about
what
comprehensive. That
projects?
takes a lot of time. You know, it's like the age of the roof of this building. You know, you might know, but I don't when it was done. When I got here, I knew the furnaces were 30 years old, so we need to, we'll gather what information we can from the people that are still here that might know. After that, we have to go do that research. But that's what it takes to do that, and there's a pretty good price tag on that. But if we have this person here to do that, he can track that, or she, and that keeps evolving, and that keeps working. And then as we come up with fixes for water mains and stuff like that and identify this problem, or we get a pump station problem, or even problems with China with the meters and stuff, this person's here, he's technical, and they can handle that kind of stuff.
So it's not Adam Young who we were hoping to get?
No,
who
well,
was our
Adam's
planner?
more in planning, he's not more engineering. You know, he was in the meeting, but
But don't we use another firm though for engineering, not Wade Trim anymore?
AW we use for, that's pipe work, pipe pump stations, infrastructure, and they're really not interested in that. They don't do that kind of thing. You know, but they work with AW for that though. But, you know, like, for instance, the FEMA grant was a good example, the Bell River Pump Station. You need someone to put that together. We got the grant, but we didn't have a clue what to do with it. So we did give it to Steve over at AEW to do the application process. Well, once they got all this done, they said, all right, well, now you got to send it out to bid for design and engineering. We're like, no, that's our guy. No, he's not allowed to do that. So we had to go through and get special permission because our match is paying his fees. It's okay, but the right way to do that would have been having someone like this person or Wade Trim design that all up and then put that out for bid. And then AEW or whoever would bid on that. You know, you need someone in-house that's putting those pieces together. FEMA, any federal grant is a nightmare. It's been 2 years, and we haven't done anything with it yet. We have, don't believe me, we have. There's been a ton of paperwork going back and forth constantly.
But all those big grants like that from
All
the
that
state and
stuff.
federal are always done by the engineer or the planner. We've never done them in-house, that I know.
We've never done one. We've never done a federal grant here, as far as I know.
Okay.
From what I've been told, we've never done one.
Okay.
The Ralph Wilson, I did. That's easy. Those are easy.
Right, the little ones.
But we've been still shortlisted. We're on the list for Bryson Sewer, which I didn't know. We are still on that award. But that's 2 years' worth of paperwork and jumping through hoops to get that finally to come through. And there's got to be someone here to do that.
Right.
And that person would be, that they would be handling that. So,
I
and
think,
there's more out there. We need to get the match, we want to get the grant for the road too, but we got to keep working at that, you know?
I agree with putting this person on, but a year from now, I want to see how many things they submitted and how many things we
Oh,
got.
absolutely. We're going to track it. And they want the same thing,
Yep.
you know? And I think it's going to work great, but, you know, we can't just not have anybody, you know,
Right.
for succession. It doesn't make sense. You know, let's say the election was next year, all 7 of us were reelected. They wouldn't have a clue what I'm doing with grants and stuff right now, you know? You know, Corinne would be good and involved with that, 'cause she'll be setting it all up financially, and she'll be tracking it, she'll know what's going on. But as far as the process part of that, the engineering side of it, she's not really part of the job that we want her to do anyway.
Right.
The question that I have, so say we vote on this tonight, what's different from tonight than tomorrow? Like what's,
We need to get the rest of the information out of him to her.
Like
She
what
needs to get to work
information?
yesterday. This, we wanted to happen a while ago.
What information?
Pardon me?
What information?
All the,
What
go
needs
ahead,
to be
Corinne.
transitioned?
So for me, if we don't, it doesn't have to be me either. So from an employee standpoint, if we don't do something by 12/7, everything that you've marked accountable, that we all did as a group, all of that's gone. There's nobody there. So I don't know if somebody on the board's stepping up, but getting grant information, getting everything finalized out for year end that I don't have access to, that you're processing or in the works, that is what cost us $14,000 extra last year. Where it's gonna occur again, unless somebody has all of that info. That's done 12/7. All of those A's on the RACI chart are gone. So even though we're participating in that 15% increase, those don't cover his jobs. So as a concern for me, if you don't go this route, there's still nobody there 12/7. And there is work. I thought it, now that I've seen the scope, there's work. And it actually is a full circle for me for the financial part. Sitting in that wage trim meeting, mind blown, because that was what I needed last year. So,
so, because I don't have it in front of me, but I mean, like, I think we need to go back through like the organizational chart of how the township is and I mean, there's so many things that I have questions about, I mean.
It goes back to the original chart for a township.
Right, and but I mean, every township's different, but it's like.
Not when you don't, if you don't have a Dwayne or a township manager anymore, you don't. If those board, supervisor, department heads, you know, it's
It's
just
where we were back
Yeah.
in 2018.
before Cindy was hired.
Larry
is
was
where you're
here.
gonna be.
That we ran with the supervisor
Well,
And how did that,
and the,
how
but we
was
also
that?
had more employees back then too.
we did, in the office.
Yeah.
And why not manager instead of supervisor?
If there's not somebody in, but you want the office manager to do the workload that's in this job description?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so our
and I
office
don't even wanna
manager,
go there
well,
right
our
now.
office manager in 18 or 15 when you left was about 44,000. And to me, when I look at this job description, that's everything outside that financial box. Right now, I'm about 55,000. So no, I wouldn't want to do it with a lower pay scale.
The pay scale could be looked at.
Absolutely, but I mean, that's where I'm at. Because right now, overall, I'm even taking a tiered wage. So I'm not jumping in right to where the supervisor is. I'm actually coming in as a new hire.
Not like the water plant superintendent who took over.
Here's the other caveat to that too. We tried, or we didn't try, the DPW tried to do a foreman position a couple years ago when I was here. Wanted a foreman under the DPW supervisor. Well, that was talked about a little bit. As soon as that happened, the water plant stepped up. They get one, we get one. We want a floor leader. That's what they wanted to call theirs, not a foreman. Sewer plant, same thing.
It's a whole other
That we want a floor leader. If you make her the office manager, they're gonna go right, because they've already said this, then we get our foreman.
Can I ask you to
It's
put,
just a wasted step to whatever else. She's gonna be doing supervisor duties just like they are of their departments, of this department. That's why that title and position is deserved, and it's
All right.
exactly what the position is.
So let's go through the job description,
well,
so we're all on the
what?
same page.
What was she gonna say? She
I
was gonna
just,
say-
is there, what would you do? What, like, when you say that, that can be negotiated, what's your idea? Isn't that why we're here?
And
What are
I
you
just came
thinking?
from work in 9 hours, so
I say-
I can't say stuff off the cuff right this minute.
No, I understand, but
We
I'm
just
trying to
got
get
this,
clarity
so-
of what everyone's trying to,
It's almost exactly the same I gave you 2
That's
weeks
all.
ago.
I get
Couple things changed. Go ahead. Lou.
what my opinion is, like, just in the short term, until I mean, because we tried township manager, that didn't work, tried director of public services, that didn't work, I mean, there's, not saying it didn't work, I mean, it's just, there's,
It worked great. It just was
Well-
doing more than it originally was supposed to, right?
but I think looking at what we've done, or what previous boards have done, what we've done, obviously unnecessary, I guess is the word. It was not necessary, and I think if the supervisor, township supervisor steps up into the office part, potentially, at least
Not
in the
happening.
short term.
I didn't sign up for that in the beginning. I'm just telling you that right now. You'll need a new supervisor, because I'm not doing that. When I came here, you had a township manager. I've been stepping up, and I'm offering to do it right now and get us through this till the next election. I'm not running again, obviously. But I'm not, no, I didn't sign up for that, and I don't think it's right. A supervisor shouldn't run the office. The office people, I don't know what they're doing day to day. I don't know how to do their payroll. She's running the books, everything else, and it's not something that a supervisor necessarily needs to be intricate with. I'm a business person. I own my own business, so I understand a lot of it. But municipal business is a whole lot different than private business.
right.
And there's a lot different rules, and it's a lot to understand. If you really want to understand it and make sure you're doing stuff right, you need a lot of classes, and I'm not going through that crap at my age. I'm not going to do it. If you want to find a supervisor that'll do that, you're more than welcome to do that.
And then that
That's
poses
great.
the problem
But that didn't work before from
full-time.
what they said. That's what they said. They were burning out supervisors, because I asked them, well, why don't you have a full-time? What do you have a manager for?
But I couldn't
So
hear
that's
that.
why they said that.
I said, then it comes into play of being full-time, the supervisor position, which this is not. He signed on as a part-time, as did the clerk and the treasurer. I mean, they're not full-time positions.
No, I didn't say they were.
So, well, you seem to think that they should be here 40 hours a week or
That's not-
whatever.
no.
Well, that's
Yeah,
kind of
I'm not
what
gonna
we've
be a
done,
full-time
but-
supervisor, I
That's
told you
not-
that.
All right, let's
I'm willing to
focus back
do
on
it
Let's-
until we
yes,
can get
let's
something,
back on
until this
that.
is all settled out, I'm happy with that, but I'm not gonna do it permanently.
Let's just get back to the details of everything, so we're all on the same page. Questions can get answered. We
Go
have the
ahead.
job description in front of us.
And Corinne,
I'm like,
I
I
need
think
to
you-
see pay scales before we could make
I,
a decision.
what do you want to
but-
know?
Huh?
We have that, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, what would you like to
There's no
know?
pay scale different than any collective bargaining agreement, so if you're unaware of that, I'm sorry. You should be
I'm done.
totally aware
I'm
of what
done.
your collective barging
So I would,
agreements contain.
Let's move
She
on.
hasn't been given that
okay,
information.
I would,
No, Sandy,
It's-
go
Members of
ahead.
the board.
it's right here on this form, and I'm sorry if, I wasn't in charge of that. It says right here where I'd start at.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Are you upset with me? I'm sorry.
What's happening?
What, I don't know.
No, just
Oh.
go ahead, Sammy, let's move on with what we
Okay.
need to
I
do.
was gonna-
So let's-
I'm not gonna argue.
Let's do the
It's
job
okay.
description, then we can come to that part and I'll write that
Yes,
stuff down.
that's fine.
Okay? All right, so basically at the top of the summary, we've got the office supervisor serves as central administrative and financial coordinator for the township. This position supports elected officials, oversees office staff, manages financial and HR functions related to benefits and wages, coordinates with the township engineer and technical projects. The office supervisor ensures efficient township operations, compliance, and communication across departments. Now, this last sentence I added because of the union, the guy from the union that was here the other day, Brian,
Okay,
he made a comment about that the other supervisors are not working supervisors.
They are, and that's the comment I
Okay.
made, but he
So
wasn't,
that's the only reason why I added this sentence. This is a working supervisor position, department head for the township office, in addition to the existing bookkeeping functions currently performed by this position. Administrative oversight, supervise office staff and manage day-to-day operations of the township office, coordinate township house security, review agenda packets with coordination with secretary, financial management, maintain and process general ledger, chart of accounts, accounts payable, fixed assets, financial reporting. These are all the things that she does now, I believe. Coordinate and complete annual budget prep, amendments with consultant assistance, assist with audits and grant reporting, approve reoccurring invoices and general ledger entries, utilize BS&A software for financial operations, prepare monthly financial reports for the Township Board, Parks, Historical, Sewer, and Water Authority. Prepare, oversee, and this was one that I added, prepare and/or oversee all year-end tax reporting, including but not limited to 1099, 1096, W-2s, MERS, year-end payroll reporting. Right now, the secretary does MERS and payroll, right?
You can only have one login for when she's doing her reporting, so if you want to switch that over, we can do that. I don't know why I would do W-2s, but I have no problem if that's where you're going.
No, I didn't intend for you to take over what she's doing,
Okay.
just that you would oversee it and check everything before it goes out the door.
Right.
Okay.
Just another pair of eyes
Okay.
was the intent there. Administer employee benefits, FMLA workers' comp and labor law compliance, manage personnel files and office employee reviews, approve time off for administrative staff, provide financial information as required for and during contract negotiations. Administer BS&A, Office 365, revise Mitten, ConnectWise. Oversee digital signage and township email systems. I know Wendy does the sign now, correct? Do you also?
Wendy and Lisa.
Okay, Wendy and Lisa, okay. So oversee, okay. Track and report on active grants, support fundraising and community projects through financial accounting, coordinate with township engineer and capital improvement projects, general office support, payroll and month-end reporting support, counter coverage is needed, engage elected officials for support of statutory duties of staff when they're away from work. Legal and compliance, coordinate legal invoices with township supervisor and manage litigation documentation. Ensure township office compliance with township policies and procedures. I did not touch that Reese chart thing. I strictly worked on the wording in addition to what Dwayne
but
started
again, it goes
with.
in line with what you've been talking about. You can see the categories there.
So, as you said, Sandy, you only added a couple things here from what it was before, like the, under the financial management, that last bulleted item. You
Right.
said that was added in.
Right.
And then there was one more thing that you said you added in. Where was it?
Bottom line of the financial portion.
Right.
Yeah, that one, but I thought there was another one that you said that was added in.
That
So
was at
That was
the
the only
top,
couple changes?
the top of the summary.
Okay. That's right, that last sentence or something.
But I believe, Dwayne, you worked with Corinne a little bit before I got it, right? And put
Put this together.
updated things? Right. Then it came to me.
And if you notice on the last page too, this is a 90-day gig, temporary, you know, if it's not working for her or not working for us. you know, Just remember
That's gonna be
that,
my question, yeah, if there was a time.
you know, and as long, and it's, I'm confident it'll be working, but, you know, this may evolve. This is our best stab at it, you know? But this will evolve.
They're
You know,
starting.
things will come up that we didn't even know about. Oh, okay. And then as that goes, you gotta adapt and change, and we can keep moving on this and keep tweaking it until it's just right. But again, it's a 90-day period too. If it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. She feels the same way, 90 days. And we can make that longer. We talked about that. If that's something that Quinn would like or we would like, we can make it a longer period. We can extend it if we get to 90 days if we want to. But again, there's an out for everybody too, but.
Corinne, would you like me to go over this memo that you had typed up after you and I went over everything, just so
If
we
you
were on the
want
same
to,
page?
I think it's pretty, what you just stated. It's
Okay.
a concept of getting all four,
I
three,
think
possible
contained
four
in here, to be honest with you, yeah.
supervisors to work together. I know that there's gonna be items that I will be assisting with them, that maybe doesn't have to do with the office itself. So, yeah, if you want to, but I think you covered it.
Okay.
Questions, Alan? Go ahead. You said something about the money part, I think, earlier. Did you get that answered kind of with
No, I didn't get that answer. I wanna know what the amount is currently versus what it's going to be with regard to your position, the bookkeeper to office.
It'll sound-
Obviously you have more,
Do you want
Duties, but-
where I'm at, base-wise, without the percentage of what we're working at extra right now?
no, with the extra.
With the 15,
With
where
the
you're at
15
now versus where you'll be, yeah.
With the 15%, I would be at 2968. With this, I would start at 32. It's in the memo, 3266.
So about
And
$3
that's
an
the new
hour.
hire supervisor,
Right.
right?
What's an hourly, yearly, 250 hours, 50,
2,080,
2,080.
so, or, yeah, 2,080, so.
On a salary side, about 6,000
So
first year.
if you look at the supervisor contracts, they start at 39 and some change. I'm sorry, I don't know that change
Yeah.
offhand. I'm starting at a tier, so it's 32 to start. I have the 90 or 120 days, whatever we're putting in. And then after 6 months, it goes up to
The next tier.
midsection, and then at the end of next year, it would go to the 39.
Right.
She would follow the natural progression rate for a new hire into that bargaining unit. So no special
So if I-
exceptions are being made.
So Sandy, when you were the office manager, how did that work? Like that you weren't in a union then?
I was the only one not in the union. The
Okay.
board asked me to stay out. They said that one person needs to stay out for confidentiality of
Okay.
the township records, or, so that's why that health provision was made separately, because the union people automatically, that's in their contract. Retiree health care benefits, 50%. But I wasn't in a contract, so that's why that was made for Sharon. It was actually Sharon and myself that were not in the union. Sharon went before, I think the union office part was made.
Okay.
But
So were you the last one that was not in the union that you're aware of?
yes, I was.
Okay.
Last one. Then after I left, obviously, it was about a year later, they came in and the supervisor wanted a township manager to oversee the day-to-day, and I think that project was about to start with the water and sewer infrastructure. It was too much for that position, so I believe that's why, so my job plus supervisor, parts of his job went to that township manager position when it started. And of course, the salary doubled at that point from what I was doing. So it just went from there. At the time, there was a lot going on. I think they needed help.
Yeah, the floods. We were.
All that too, yeah, that was. Just didn't work out so great in the end
Alan?
for us.
I have nothing against Corinne. I think she's probably one of the best people that we have working for the township. I do think, I still believe that the elected people need to step up. You know, that's my opinion on it. I think that we should try, I mean, that's the only thing we haven't tried.
Elected people don't do office manager positions.
I think, and again, part-time, not full-time. I'm not
Well, a
suggesting being
full-time
40 hours a week.
supervisor
That would be
doesn't
insane.
do office managers. They're not office managers. A full-time supervisor, St. Clair, they don't manage the office.
Right.
I think they oversee some things though, I mean,
Still
depending.
they're not the office managers, it's usually one of the other ones.
They're the supervisor or clerk or treasurer or whatever, but.
That they still don't have an office manager title.
Like now, I have a question. I mean, like if, for instance, some of these things that you're saying that like you need people for or whatever, like the supervisor could do that?
Which part, what did I say I
The-
needed the assistance for?
On the thing about the 14 grand, I didn't understand that. part.
Oh.
No, no.
So
No.
the 14,000 additional was for lack of being prepared for the audit last year.
Oh,
So if there isn't somebody that is in place to provide what we need when we need it, we will be fined and we can't complete the year-end adjustments. So we fell into that when it came to the authority audit and filing out some of those grants from last year that we were requesting from the township manager. I'm hoping that if I can see what I saw with just speaking with Wade Trim, those topics may be easier to complete. My hands will be in it. My eyes just opened with 4 projects that I see in the ledger because I've created the projects, but I didn't know where they stand, what years we're thinking. This is just new information that it ties into things that I see daily. So that would have been really helpful to have someone on board. That's why I was suggesting, whatever you do, we need that right now, so.
what about with regard? You know how we're spending extra money? I can't remember not the auditor, but the.
The accountant?
Yeah,
Karen?
what's the-
Woodhill?
Yeah,
Woodhill
Woodhill, yeah. Is that something that eventually is going to go away or no?
That would be ideal, but again, last year was such a whirlwind, so what happened, last year, you changed our auditing company, right? We voted to switch. Wonderful idea, probably the way it's supposed to be. Whole new process for all of the staff. Now, in that process, we also had lack of information. We're missing information, we're trying to understand, pieces were missing. So our accountant was in-house and walked us through quite a bit. So I'm hoping that we can get her in again to go back over with a smoother transition, which is why, again, I stress we're prepping for an audit, and if we have a hole missing, we're gonna do it again and not learn, which is the idea is to learn and then move on. However, I think it's really ideal to have an accountant and planner at an area where you can call them, or what they're talking about now. We should have probably had that always.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it's a gift that we have Woodhill Group, because with the size of our operations, really like a CPA, it's that level of accounting expertise. So
Think of where we
Corinne learned as she went.
where we've been and where
and
we're
learned
at
more.
now and where we want to go. We did change auditors, we changed attorneys, we changed engineers. We've changed a lot, and it's all for the better. I don't care what anybody says, it's all for the better. You know, there was things we found in our audit that were like just basically blatant error. Well, it was submitted late, of course. I mean, there's a ton of all of that involved in coordination, you know, and we have the pieces in place, and it's going great, in my opinion. The
To
last
make us
6 months
more
have been doing
efficient.
great, you know? But I'm telling you, you need people like the Woodhill Group to keep, you gotta have them there, just like you gotta have a good attorney to pick up the phone and talk to them and answer you. I mean, when I first got here, they wouldn't answer us for 2 weeks. That doesn't work. You know, we got served today for another suit, I gotta send it over tomorrow to our attorney. We want responses.
Yeah.
We want service, and we're getting it. But again, it takes the people in the right places to do that. And with that additional piece with AEW, I think it'd be perfect. That's all I have to say about it. And you're talking $10,000 or $20,000 in a year, whatever it is. You just saved $250,000 in salaries with 2 people. So don't tell me we don't have the money or it's too much. Crap, you know?
Well, the problem-
Because my salary definitely doesn't need to be 18 grand for a full-time supervisor, if that's what you're talking about. Ain't gonna happen either.
Well-
They all get a hell of a lot more than that around here. So,
But they also do a lot more, I think.
well, Mr. Bryson made over $100,000 doing what he did. He was there 5 days a week. That's a full-time job. You wanna pay me that? It's a different story. But I'm not the right person for that.
But he had a stipend and he had a salary, so I mean, that's different. but
Whatever you
it's-
want to call it, it's still money out of the township.
But
Okay,
the
Go ahead.
question the only thing I'm gonna say, I wanna know, and I mean, this is somewhat off the subject of this, but I wanna know what statutory duties are being done by the three of you, and what statutory duties are being done that belong to you guys that are being done by staff. I want to know that.
I have no statutory duties that are being done by the staff that I know of.
and I'm preparing information
I
to
do
deliver
all of
to the
his
board
statutory duties.
about what I do and accomplish and
I appreciate that.
what I'm here doing.
I can do the
I
same.
am
as
putting it
Sandy.
together.
Thank you.
But that being said, the structure of our township has been full-time employees doing the bookkeeping, because that is a full-time job. Those are statutory duties. So these things are put in place for that continuity.
Right.
And even when I was here, I was still doing the elections. Everything just could, when board members would come and go, the office kept going because they had, that's how it was set up. It was actually a good plan, I
Yeah,
think.
I agree.
And
Well,
these
statutory duties
are
get done with the
part-time.
assistance of the staff too. You
And
know, it's not
the-
like you do it all.
And the wages for these positions were based on that, on the way it was set up. This isn't something new we just put together. I mean, this is the format that's worked for a really long time until we introduced that township manager position. I feel like everything kind of exploded after that, but,
And we're actually kind of going back to kind of the way it was by the sounds of it. I wasn't
right.
privy to what was going on back then, but
And it worked
Well,
for
it's
a
been
long
explained to
time. It
me.
worked fine until we had that huge project coming and we were falling behind in some areas. Things were getting missed. It was costing money. Mistakes were happening out in the field. It was, at the time, we needed another person, probably more on the engineering level, not what they chose to do. But anyway, live and learn, I guess. But I do think this situation with having the 4 department heads, and they will have those responsibilities in the day-to-day, and everything comes to the supervisor and to the board, you know, through our financials and but we have the main core people on top of everything. They're staying on
And
top
I'm
of
not
it.
a fan, I mean, our previous manager was all about, well, you can't talk to them. I'm not that way. You know, you don't have to call me to call somebody else. Open communication, you know? I mean, don't badger, but at the same time, you have questions, get the answers from the person that has it.
Right.
You know, it can work, you know, it will work. It's just that we have to be courteous. We have to be respectful of people's time. We don't want to take a ton of their time up, but they have things to do. They're experts in their field, let them do their job. But again, you know, it can flow. It doesn't need to be like it was. And we all know what we're talking about here, okay? So, I think it's a great move.
I
Sandy's
think we
right.
just need to move forward, you know, from the person that was in that position, and this is what we have. And was it you, Vern, that said between the elimination of the 2 positions, we're gonna save about $250,000?
No, I think it's over 250 with your benefit packages and everything else.
Okay.
Well, that was township manager and director. at
Right,
the same
right, that's what I'm saying,
Director, right.
both of those,
I
okay.
didn't calculate the township manager
Well,
because she's been gone.
Yeah. But
But just with the elimination of my position-
Each with their benefits and everything.
And, but the elimination of my position, some of the increases that you've talked about, including this one, there's still a savings of around $94,000.
Okay,
And that's wages and benefits.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know
It's good to
what the
Right.
engineer guy's gonna be, can't be a lot, you know, let's say it's 40, I don't know, we'll find out, we'll vote on it as a board, but I think we can evaluate that when it comes, but we're definitely saving money, and what'll happen is, you know, as we find more cost savings and whatnot, you know, we can make budget amendments and, you know, lower our burden.
And I don't know what the time frame on this would be, but I do believe we need to go through a line by line, every single thing, every position, every single thing in this township and go, is this needed? Is it not? Is it needed? Is it not? And because I mean, that's something that to my knowledge, since I've been here, we haven't done. And
I have. When I go over the budget, I do. Most of those, you can't. You have wages, you have materials for, for the plants, the workers, all that stuff. That's all stuff you can't touch. I mean, that is what it is. You need paper, you need chlorine at the plant,
Right.
you need, those things you have to have. DPW needs their supplies, you need glad hand, you need gland packs, all that stuff for repairs. We need those types of things. The stuff that mainly is, I don't call it arbitrary, but you can say that, do we need it or not? Is mainly capital improvements. That's really where you say, well, do we need to fix it this year or not? Those are the things that are more line items where you can decide yes or no. You need to make sure you save money for the future with the cap improvement plan that'll be there, but.
And that's where the budget workshops come into
But,
play.
you have labor agreements, so it's not like you can say, I'm gonna give you a pay cut, or you can't,
Right.
there's not a lot you can touch on those particular line items, the postage is postage, I don't know what to tell you, So you can do that, and we've done that.
I think what you're.
I go over the items that have chance to change.
with Sandy's.
She was,
Oh, yeah.
what were you?
Are you referring to water and sewer?
Well, I mean, that's part of it, but I think, just going through the minutes, pouring through them like I used to, we used to have one plant supervisor for both. Just as an example, but I think
It's hard to find someone, I think, with that licensing requirements, though. I mean, you're talking
So Ellen,
dual licensed.
I would, again,
I don't know if that
those are things
exists.
that we've implemented.
Anymore.
I'm sorry you're not aware of it, but it's not governed by this board, it's governed by the Sewer and Water Authority. There is a succession plan for water and sewer. Currently, you only have one certified wastewater operator that can manage that plant. And without going into too many details, he could retire at any time. And it's really just on his will. And then that sewer and water authority would be up a creek without a paddle. So what they did 20 years ago, if it doesn't mean it's the best model.
Well, right.
If you don't plan. And I'll tell you that planning has suffered here. But I think in the last year and a half, everybody understands what the goal should be, right? That you have the right people in place to do the jobs that they're best at. So that's just been the theme. You guys have talked about one thing in particular in the budget that I've heard, that box on the wall and the cost. I'll tell you that your employees understand what those costs are. They weren't involved or engaged in the decision-making process to pick that piece of equipment, but they've already identified a cost-saving measure that'll save the township half of what it currently costs. And they did that, they brought that to us and said, when's the contract up? Because these people can do it for less. So those are the type of employees you have, and we're not, I understand everything costs more than we'd like. But, I think everybody's trying to be as fiducially responsible as they can.
Well, and to be clear, I'm not attacking any employee, we have amazing employees. I've toured both plants, I've been in this office, I know. we
Well,
have
at the
amazing
next meeting,
employees.
I'll be presenting it, but we did reach a TA the other day with supervisors and the operators. Tentative agreement, minimal, I obviously can't do that here in this open session, but once we have that agreement, you'll be getting it, but we reached a tentative agreement on it. And one of the biggest things they want is, we want what's best for the township, we don't want lose our jobs, we don't want township, I think it went really well, so, but we have great employees, you're right, but, as far as staffing levels, if that's what you were talking about, dual, if that presents its option in the future, but you have union contracts that also say we have one in each plant that don't allow you to do that, you know what I'm saying? So it takes some planning and some time. And it's more than you can just do in one session, But if that's something the vision of the board wants, okay, great, but that's gonna move down the line and that's gonna have to keep being taken care of with the next elected officials and everything else to get to that point. But they've tried that, I think, and, we did really good, I think, in the contracts. We got some good stuff for us, but anyway.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's focus
It
back
is,
on this.
it is. They were really,
her up.
really good to work with. Alan, anything else?
No.
Isla?
First, it's nothing against employees. I still think it should be manager and not supervisor. And to sit and say you can throw me numbers, what would I do? A market analysis would have to be done. There's a lot of stuff. It's not something I could do right here, spur of the moment.
Okay, and what I'm asking is I haven't heard anything, even when we've gone through the budget process, I haven't heard any suggestions or questions or concerns. So that's why I was asking. I thought that's why we were here, because I myself am a little confused and trying to make sure that I have a grasp on what's being asked of me and if I'm up for that challenge. And so I'm trying to understand what it is that could be provided for you so that whatever direction you go, at least comfortable in the office. So that's why I was asking, because right now it would be a $20,000 increase. So you could fill that role with somebody else. It was asked, and I was excited for the challenge. So I don't take anything personal. I'm just trying to make sure that we function well. And if I can help in that role, I will. If it's not what you want, that's fine.
We identified the position before the person technically, but we always had the person in mind because we know the capability. So we're just lucky that we have it, in my opinion. We're lucky to have her.
I don't disagree with that. Again, I think at the bigger picture, I think we need to, and look at ourselves too, but I mean, where are places that we can save money? Because right now, we're about to spend a lot of our fund balances, and then next year we're screwed. So I mean, it's like, if we don't do something about expenditures, which we haven't done anything about, so.
Actually, we have a good, healthy fund balance. We talked about that too. We got to just, as a board, we need to establish what percentages we want to have as a fund balance for the general fund and our capital improvements over total assets. Like a percentage, how they always have a percentage. Sometimes this is what we should not go below. You remember that from the school board. But anyway, we need to talk about that too and establish those and make them a policy officially. But we have a very good fund balance right now in our general fund. Capital improvement fund, you saw the number, 4, whatever that is. But once we have the comprehensive capital improvement, we've done a lot of work here in the last 3 years that I've been here anyway. I like construction, so, I'm all about building stuff, but, I think we're in fairly good shape. Again, the 3 items I identified was why the water and sewer rates went up. Those are strictly that. You won't change any of 3 of those unless people start letting their faucets run more, or we reach something different with DTE, which I'm positive we might be able to, but that's the worst case scenario that we had there in front of you. And it's a fixed problem of no surprises, not next year, following year. It's fixing it now for good. But it only improves, I guess, is the answer to the question, because Wayne and I were talking about that too. We do save money, we make a budget amendment, then next year we don't need to raise it the other 15 or whatever to get to that, whatever that number was.
Thanks.
It's like, oh, hey, it's only 10 now.
Did you want to say something?
So that's ever evolving. As you save money, you can change those.
Well, I'm just looking at this memorandum and letter of understanding. So it says in here, in the event the township believes the employee has not proven to be qualified to perform the job of office supervisor anytime within the 90, which we could, 90 or
I'm not concerned about that.
longer.
I believe that she's very capable to do it.
I agree, but they may be returned to their former position of bookkeeper in the clerical unit of the IUOE through transfer. Additionally, the employee shall have 90 calendar days with which to disqualify themselves and return to their former position. I'm confident she can also do it. I mean, I don't think that's an issue, but if there's
I'm not questioning.
reservations of,
My issue is the
Should we-
monetary issue. It's not the fact that I'm 100% no. I know she can do it.
right.
But I guess the question, where do we take the money from? I mean, that's.
It's already in the budget for his salary for next year. It's still in there.
We go into fund balance and we just pull it
Yeah,
out.
we already have his salary in the 2026 budget. That has to be
Yeah, I know
amended
that.
when we figure this all out, but
Well, and then the other part of it would go to pay that person if we get a person sitting back there,
Right.
the engineer or
Right.
consultant,
Right.
1 day a week.
But we definitely won't be more than it's already in the budget. It'll be less. It's already been budgeted for.
And like Dwayne said, we would still be ahead 94,000 by not replacing his
It's
position.
rough numbers we were running, yeah.
Well, yeah, give or take.
So, and again, we also have lost the manager's salary out of the budget. So the money concern is the good part, if you really want to know. It's
I don't know, the residents of.
costing us a whole lot less to do the same thing. But
Well, it is our job to make sure that we have things in place that can carry on the duties and carry on business as we need to, whether it costs a little more or a little less, how we get there. But if we have things in place, then we're doing our job, as far as I'm concerned. We're here to make it happen.
I think the two salaries together before we gave Dwayne a bump when the manager left were pretty close to 300,000 when you added in the benefits packages and everything else that we were paying for. That was for the two of them when they were both here. Pretty close, Dwayne?
I was
Yeah.
136. I was
Yeah.
not concerned
So
with what's
we got
in
health
the
on that and stuff. So we're saving a lot. You know, I don't know what this other person, you know, if it's not, and if the engineer person's cost prohibitive, we're not gonna do it, you know? They want $100,000 for the guy to come here, that is not gonna happen, you know?
Right.
They're just not gonna do it. So, but right now, we're gonna save all but 20,000 of that almost 300,000. So I don't understand the reservation on the money part of it at all. But
I want to see us go through line by line everything. I think we.
you're welcome to do it anytime. You get the budget.
Yeah.
And you know what it says. If you think there's something that's not being done right, by all means, we look into it.
I mean, you already.
I have. Okay, so if there's something that you're seeing that you don't think I'm seeing, then that's when you say something about it. You know, how come we're spending this much on lawn cutting or whatever? Would it be better to do that in-house? The answer is no. We already figured it out. We already ran the numbers. Okay? But I can give you the information on that. But there might be something I didn't think of. I don't know. The syntax? Great idea. We're looking into it. Well, you know, that stuff will creep up on you. So, but
Well, we're all gonna have to sit down anyway and go through everything with a fine tooth comb because we're gonna have to come up with money again for the following year. We gotta make a plan how we're gonna do this.
between now and the next time,
The next
absolutely.
3-4 years till everything's phased in.
You know, we didn't get any questions like that at budget time, you know, on that line item, but you can ask it at any time during the year. If you got a question about a line item, ask it. We will find that answer. You know, can this be done better or cheaper or
I
eliminated?
think
Just ask it
if,
before the meeting.
You know, you can ask it at the meeting, you just won't get the answer at the meeting.
That's right, but if we
But-
want to continue and complete what we need to complete that meeting, try to ask it before the meeting.
right,
Better
we can
idea,
come
so
in
we could get that
there's
information,
time.
but right.
Right.
But not when it's budget time. When it's time for the budget, hopefully we've already looked at all those items. It's not the time to sit down and go line through line for a budget. We don't, that time is, this is the best we've come up with. Taking into everything in consideration.
Like that lady we brought in, I can't remember her name, but I mean, we brought in that person, paid however many thousands of dollars to have that lady come. I mean, we sat there, we talked about, which I liked a lot of the stuff we talked about, but I mean, we didn't really follow through. I mean, it was kind of a load of crap. I mean, really,
And we need to still finish that.
I actually
Right.
don't disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's one of the
I don't know
things.
what to tell you. I mean,
Okay,
I'll
let's
try it.
focus, because I actually have another meeting at
I don't
6:30
disagree with you on
somewhere.
that one.
I just have one more
Yeah.
question. On the HR part, Corinne, you have told me before that you don't have experience with that. I am here to help,
Okay.
but what would be the plan to get you some type of training?
Well, I'd like to speak to it first, because as part of a service at Michigan Municipal League and our membership that we pay for, we receive free HR support from a system called HR Muni. and I've utilized them a few times already. Obviously, I wanted to verify what they were telling me with our legal, so I've done that, but that's a free service that comes with our membership. I've already provided her with login credentials so that she has access to that.
I do still think
I
it
will
would
be
be a good
reaching
idea
out.
though to get something, just
Well,
so
we-
she has an idea of things. Because even to know to ask the right questions to put to the company for the advice.
We've had a couple disciplinary issues, and that's how it was handled, and it's been done well.
And then maybe during this period, could we maybe check in once a month just to see
You can check
what's been
in
done?
once a day or once a week or whatever you want, by all
At the
means.
meeting, just so we know, because it seems like in the past,
Well, my
it
envision
wasn't
would,
really known what the person was doing.
my envision would be that Corinne's probably gonna be attending the board meetings or more of them as she can, because she's the financial person. I don't wanna put that in your.
Unless there's a volleyball game,
But if she's needed here, by all means, she's the answers with that, okay?
Well,
And she
upon
deals
request,
with,
but I wouldn't expect her to come to all the meetings.
no,
No.
I'm
No,
not
but
taking it as answering all township information. I
Yeah.
will be assisting, right? I mean, that's what we talked, right, Sandy?
yeah,
Okay.
the
Right.
financial
It's a
stuff is her,
All the
you know?
departments.
Financials, yes.
Like if
Collaboration.
DPW wants to talk about a new excavator he
Correct.
wants, he'll come. Otherwise, he
Well,
won't.
yeah, it doesn't need to go through
But-
someone else to come.
I'm open to any information you want to pass along.
Well, that was another conversation we had.
Everything.
More information is actually welcome. You said it the other day, one thing we don't get here is questions. You don't get questions, you just get a look at the board meeting and then a no, or whatever. And no reason why, and I'm sorry, but if you're not gonna go along with, and you don't do this, you tell me why. But if you're not gonna vote for something, you need to tell us why, because maybe we haven't considered that very thing as well. And your people in the public need to know why you feel that way too. You feel that way is your right. You're an elected person. Explain why. And again, and I've been changed, my mind has been changed in public meetings in the past because I didn't consider that view or that option or that item. But in my opinion, if the presentation is to approve something and you don't agree with it, you just don't vote no. You give your reason why. I think it makes sense and you should, you owe your constituents that at least. You know, because, again, maybe it's something I didn't consider either. You know, obviously you have a concern with something, it should be no. And you do a great job, but I'm not saying it, but I'm just saying.
I'll double check.
Okay.
You don't have a problem, tell me why.
Okay, I will make a motion.
Well, are there
More questions?
Yeah, we
Not
didn't get to
really
this end.
question, well, a little bit.
Okay.
I'm perfectly happy. I think Corinne can do the job. She's well qualified. She seems like at ease about this situation, what's going on. I also believe what Gisela said about being office manager instead of supervisor. I don't know why, but it just seems that that would be a better step in position, I think, and maybe for the overall of the continuity of the office. I think office manager sounds and, relays that message a little bit clearer that everybody's not just got a supervisor over them, that she's, managing the office. Is there any, with you being union, is there any concerns or overlap that would be involved in all this stuff, or?
I mean, is it the title change or is it a job
No,
change? I guess
No, the job,
How would you
overall.
change, if you change, so office manager, job description still the same?
Yes.
So you would still expect the same things done just with a different name? So it's the
I just
title?
think it,
Or is it the pay, or is it, what is the?
no, it's not any of that.
And
It's
I'm not
just-
asking you to be combative, I'm just trying to understand.
It's
Yeah.
semantics.
Is it the
Yeah.
wording?
Yeah, I think.
As in our
that's-
employees would have a problem with it being supervisor?
I don't know. It
Oh,
just seems like
even the
the
public.
supervisor is more of a, maybe a step up or, you know, overall of everything, where an office manager is kind of just managing the office and not the people per se.
Then for me, when I hear you say those, then I would adjust the job description. Because if it's just managing the office, that is not what's in here.
What would you take out?
We'd have to, you want to go over line for line?
No, we don't.
I mean,
You're not interested in the office manager job, right?
I don't know what they mean when you say that. I need to, that's why I'm asked, that's why I was going, what figures, what numbers, what description are you talking about, so I could understand?
The office manager position doesn't solve our problem.
Don't we have an office manager? Don't we have somebody with that title already? No?
That went away when I left,
Kind of like the township manager was,
took that off.
acted as the manager as well.
I mean, she's gonna be.
The duties of an office manager is different than the
than
duties we're
officer-
talking about here.
Right,
Is it?
right.
You know, this is completely different. These duties are above and beyond what an office manager does.
Right. Well, I agree. I'm in favor of keeping it as supervisor with what is written here. If we do go back,
These are the duties we need done. That's why we do this.
and I know that.
Right.
I know that. I'm just saying, if the people on the board want manager, then we can't vote on this, because this needs to be changed. That's all I'm saying.
The thing that doesn't make sense to me, it makes no sense to me, but when people say office manager, office supervisor, we can make it whatever we want it to be.
Right.
I mean, whether it says manager or supervisor, it doesn't really matter what you call it, it's just,
Yeah.
so I mean, to me, the wording doesn't matter, but for me, it's the monetary part, but
Yeah,
the
the office
wording-
supervisor makes it more clear of the duties that are, overall, everything that happens in this township hall falls on her.
Right.
Office manager is just means she's gonna work with the secretary, the billing, the payroll, that stuff, and manage those people.
But
To me, that's how I would hear
No,
that.
that's the way I view it.
And I-
Alan, I have a question for you, because I know you keep talking about the monetary. Do you think that, I guess my question, do you think she should get a raise, or you think that she should take on, I'm just asking the question, I'm not,
yeah. If she is doing more, well, then yeah, obviously, I mean,
Okay.
but I think, like when we did that, was it called race chart?
Right,
Whatever it's
right,
called. Yeah,
racing.
when we did that, that, to me, it was just surprising as to how many things they were already doing before the person left, and it's like, so what the heck are we doing? Like, and to me, obviously, I'm not in the office every day, so I mean, that's the first time I saw that, and it's like, what's going on? Like, what, and we need. to know
Everything in that racy chart that was assigned to Dwayne at the time, where he was accountable, that shifts about 10 feet to the left right now. That's what's happening there. Because a lot of that, he was the accountable person at the end, you know, that we let him take that. That's when we gave him the promotion of that. That's all shifting there now, for 99% of it.
And Alan, your staff was very frustrated with that too.
Yeah.
So right now, it's the three of us, those two in there, you know, they're being leaned on a lot as well. So I think I know what you're saying, and I don't want to get into it, but we were very frustrated too, for years.
Yeah, because
So-
it was not generally known.
Yeah, right.
We know exactly what you're referring to. We talked about it at extensive level with all three of them.
And to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm talking too much, I'm sorry, but really consideration of this is knowing that the two people that are full-time with me, we make a very good team, and they will be very supportive. So that makes this more comfortable, so I just want to put that out
They
there.
are
They
very
do
supportive
quite a
of this.
bit.
Deb, anything else?
I think you said this, but the overall, the supervisor position that we're going to vote on tonight is, do you oversee that then? Or with her being a supervisor and you're a supervisor, doesn't that
She's
kind
the
of make
office
it?
Maybe that's
supervisor,
what
I'm the
she
township
means, the
supervisor.
Okay.
The township
But-
supervisor is over all four of the,
Okay,
they'd be over all four of those, as well as the board.
okay.
But again, I don't want it
I
to where,
thought that's what you had said.
if you have
but
a
I just
question
wanted to
of the
clarify.
office supervisor, you don't necessarily have to pester me for it or whatever. If it's something, you know, I want open communication. I want it
Right.
more open than it's been. Okay?
And I think it will be.
I think so too. It already has been. It already has been. There's an obstacle removed.
But I think we need to move forward because Dwayne's only gonna be here for 2 more weeks, and we need that.
Deb, is there anything else that you'd like?
I'm sorry, Debbie.
How about
I
Pat?
cut you
I'm
off.
good.
No, I'm
I'm
done.
good now.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. I said my piece. I've said enough piece. I've said too much piece. You ready to make a motion?
I'm ready. Are you guys ready?
If there's no other questions, comments anywhere?
I want to confirm that I'm okay to go back in 90 days. We're going to check that out just to make sure that I'm covered. If I feel like I'm not fulfilling, or I don't want to entertain that after 90 days, I am okay to go back as bookkeeper?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
just put that on the record.
That's-
Yeah.
It's in this agreement.
And this
Okay.
is the same language used for this water plant operator that assumed. the
Perfect.
So I
water
will make
plant
a motion
superintendent.
that we create the office supervisor position, promote Corinne Garwood. She'll be moving from the clerical unit to the supervisor's unit in the union with the stipulation as in, that's stated in the memorandum of letter of understanding, November 21st, and the event that the township believes the employee has not proven to be qualified, anytime within the 90 calendar days, they may be returned to their former position of bookkeeper and clerical unit. Additionally, the employee shall have 90 calendar days within which to disqualify themselves and return to their former position of bookkeeper. In both cases, this will be without any loss of seniority or earned benefits and will occur on or before February 19, 2026. Is that 90 days? Is that where
90
you're
days,
coming
yeah.
with that? Okay. If they remain in the supervisor position, the bookkeeper position will be assumed as part of the supervisory position and will not be posted due to no reduction in the union workforce.
There's a motion made, is there support? I'll support it. Comments, questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call. Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebuk?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
No.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes.
And real quick, I want to make very clear that it's not because of Corinne. I have 100% support you, and I do think that you'll do a good job as the monetary portion. I want to make that very clear.
All ayes, 1 no.
You were A? Yes? Okay, I couldn't hear. So the motion is carried,
Carried.
5-1. All right, thank you. Again, we have 90 days. I think it's gonna be a really big plus here. Going in the right direction, just like we have been lately. So we'll see how it
Get her to
goes.
sign it. We'll get her
And
to sign
I
it.
do encourage
We'll wait for
open
you till
communication.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Please. Again, the only other comment that I did have was we did reach a TA with the 2 groups so far. I don't know if we'll have it ready for the board meeting coming up, but I know once we get the language done, our attorney's working on it, that the union will vote on it. And
We'll have a closed session first or no?
I don't know. After we reach a tentative agreement, it's a contract. Don't we talk about it in open session then? Kinda, or not?
No, I don't think so.
It'll be whatever it's supposed to be done. Whatever's gotta be
You want
done.
to probably check with the attorney on that one.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think once it's a contract, kinda, if we do
Discussed,
talk
just
about it
voted
open. But it'll be whatever it is. You know?
Okay.
Nothing else?
Make a motion to adjourn at 6:10 PM.
Support, or,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing all the information so we all can get our questions answered and.
yeah.